Good evening, YouTube. So I unloaded this morning in Wilson, North Carolina, and then sent the empty message, and then after I sat there, I don't know, for a while, they finally sent this load, and it picked up in, oh shoot, now I don't remember the name of the town. It was about 80 miles from there or so, or maybe a little farther. Anyway, it goes up to Arnold, Pennsylvania. Arnold is, they might as well say Pittsburgh, which is not, that's one of my least favorite places. Kind of following, the worst place least favorite place, however you want to express it, is New York City. That's the pits. Don't like to cross into there. And probably next on the list is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. A lot of Pittsburgh is kind of like, you have a little piece of New York. You cut out a little piece of New York and New York City, and then you have Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is I don't know, it's a disaster area if you got to drive around in it. So anyway, the load delivers there tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So I could have kept driving. I had to stop here at I'm stopped at a Flying J truck stop at Ruther Glen, Virginia. I had to stop here to fill the truck up with fuel, and I decided I would just go ahead and take a break here, spend the night. And I could have kept driving for several more hours, but that would have probably put me in an area where the overnight parking situation would have been iffy. Certainly some of those areas it would have been pretty iffy, and so I thought, well, I'll just, I can park here pretty easily, and then I'll just get up early in the morning after the break's over and start driving again. And so that's what I decided I would do. In the video that I put up last night, I was talking about doing the right thing and so on and so forth. And someone posted a comment on YouTube, basically, to kind of paraphrase it, basically saying that, our sense of right and wrong comes from our parents teach us, and so on and so forth. I'm not disputing that. Parents can teach you that abortion is right, for example. They can teach you that all day long, and you might believe it. But what I'm saying is, there is a higher standard that goes beyond what our parents teach us, because whatever our parents teach us, maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong, hopefully it's right, but obviously parents are flawed, so some of it's going to be wrong. And that's why we're going to resent. Kids tend to look at their parents as if they're gods. And so that's why we're going to resent, is because our parents are flawed, and so that some of the things that our parents do or our parents teach us, the examples that our parents set, the examples that our parents set, they're going to be flawed, and so that's why we end up resenting our parents. So our parents, and of course, kids do become an extension of the parents, and that's why the parents or the kids sort of act as a mirror to the parents, and the parents often, they're kind of forced to see the things within, that's kind of being projected into the child. They're sort of forced to look at themselves, because they see that, because the kid's an extension of the parent. So I'm not denying that, we do learn things from our parents and we pick things up from our parents. I'm saying there's a higher standard. There is a definitive right and wrong. There are absolutes. If someone tells you there are no absolutes, you just ask them, well, are you absolutely sure? Because if they say, well, yes, I'm absolutely sure there are no absolutes, they're contradicting themselves. And that's just not a word trick. But they're really contradicting, so therefore there are absolutes. So, anyway, but I just wanted to clarify that, because we do learn from our parents, obviously. We do pick up the mistakes of our parents. Sins of the fathers are transmitted to the third and fourth generation, so on and so forth. That's paraphrasing a Bible verse. So we do pick these things up, but we have, there is this higher standard, and so that's what I'm talking about is where do you find that higher standard at? And you're not going to arrive at it emotionally. You're not going to arrive at it intellectually. You're not going to reason your way to it. You have to allow that higher standard to catch up with you. And we, most of us know it as a guilty conscience. And because we've been kind of going against it, living, sort of living our lives in reverse, trying to distance ourselves from that, what I'm suggesting you do is make friends with that. Make friends with that conscience, and it's not you're not gonna suddenly become perfect. Don't get that idea that you're gonna be perfect. You're not. I'm not. I make mistakes all the time, and everybody does. But the difference is, if you make friends with your conscience, then even though you're still making mistakes, so on and so forth, you have a different attitude about it, and you've got a different source of identity and no anxiety. And that's one of the biggest things right there is, wouldn't you like to have an anxiety-free life? I like having it, and my life hasn't always been anxiety-free, but it's a great thing, and so it can be done. You can find it. It exists. But you have to be willing to make friends with your conscience. And so what I'm saying is that there is a higher standard, but we're sort of born separated from that higher standard. And we do pick these things up from our parents. That's absolutely right. But there is a higher standard. We're not just animals and being programmed and so on and so forth. Human beings are more than that. And if you don't want to believe that, I don't really care. I have my opinion. You have your opinion. Whatever. You're not going to change my mind. So, and maybe I'm not going to change yours. So, anyway, from where am I at? Ruther Glen, Virginia. I'll catch you later.